Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is Wyln News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. Wyln News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Wyln News. I'm Elizabeth Doroba. The Emmanuel Christian School in Hazleton has changed its name. The private school closed temporarily in December due to financial instability, but was able to reopen as a result of emergency funding secured by Congressman Dan Muser. In the face of the financial challenges, school officials say they are stepping forward with a new name and a new identity. Although the legal entity of Emmanuel Christian School remains intact, Executive Director Mike Jarrell says the school will now operate under the name of Charis Academy. The name Charis is the Greek word for grace, which Jarrell says represents the school's mission of creating a community of Christ followers who embody grace toward one another, toward the city, and toward the world. The rebranding also includes a new logo featuring Leo the Lion in royal purple and gold. Officials say the logo represents strength, dignity, courage, and the incredible worth of every student. As the school moves into the new identity, Jarrell says the school's goals are to rebuild trust, to become more engaged with service and outreach in the city, to prepare students for the workforce with hands-on skills training, and to encourage interactive and collaborative learning. West Hazleton police are investigating a shooting that took place on Friday, May 23rd. According to officials, police were called to the scene on Winters Avenue around 3:30 a.m. Upon arriving, officers say they discovered that a multiple-person physical altercation had taken place inside the VFW bar. The fight had then spilled into the street and ended with gunfire. Officials say one male was shot in the abdomen 3 times. Anyone with information regarding the incident is asked to contact West Hazleton Police at 570-455-3733. Fire crews responded to a house fire in Plymouth twice on Tuesday morning. According to officials, crews were first called to the scene at 425 Curry Hill Road around 3:30 a.m. They were then called back to the home around 9 o'clock a.m. when the fire rekindled. Curry Hill Road was closed as crews worked to extinguish the fire. No injuries have been reported. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a reward for information regarding the whereabouts of a suspect in a Scranton homicide. Officials say 20-year-old Malachi Alla Darden, also known as MDOT, is wanted in connection with a shooting that took place in May of 2024. On May 14, 2024, Scranton police report that they were dispatched to the 1800 block of Jackson Street for a car crash. However, upon arriving at the scene, police discovered that the driver of the vehicle had been shot. The U.S. Marshals Service reports that Darden was last seen in Scranton on May 14, 2024. He is described as standing 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighing around 160 pounds. Officials say Darden is known to frequent Bronx, New York, and have ties to Lackawanna and Luzerne counties. A $2,500 reward is being offered for information that leads to Darden's arrest. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact the USMS tip line at 1-877-926-8332. Coming up on Wyln News, Hazleton students reap the rewards of the My Path program. Plus, a Freeland firefighter receives the Outstanding Citizen of the Year award. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network and Jefferson Health. Investing in your well-being and building healthier communities because more expertise and convenient care mean better outcomes and a healthier you. Learn more at lvhn.org/Jefferson.
My name is Ellie, and tomorrow tomorrow's gonna be rainy.
We want your child to be our WYLN weather kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your weather kid video today. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
This week's show, Let's Talk Chiropractic, is exciting. Anna overcame the language barrier. She learned how to speak English. She had a car accident. She came for a chiropractor, and through proper communication, I'm gentle, and she got great results. So check in on the show.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Students at Hazelton Middle School were rewarded with ice cream Tuesday afternoon as the winners of the MyPath Reading and Math Challenge. The MyPath Reading and Math Challenge is a nationwide competition designed to boost academic achievement and allow students to practice lessons that match their individual needs. Students from all over the Hazelton area school district have participated in the challenge, with Hazelton and Drums Middle Schools scoring the most points. The points earned in the challenge are translated to a dollar amount that will be donated to a non-profit organization chosen by the school. Woods Ice Cream provided a variety of flavors for the students to enjoy as they celebrated their win and presented the donation. Sales associate at Imagine Learning, Bogdan Noskovich, was happy to see the students enjoy the afternoon and contribute to a good cause.
They donated to Feeding America organization $500 with all their work points, so we also decided to reward all 7th and 8th graders from both schools with ice cream party just to celebrate years, celebrate their success and everything they have done so far this year. So this is a great way to end the school year.
The MyPath Challenge is part of a larger program implemented at Hazelton area schools known as Imagine MyPath, an intervention-based program created by Imagine Learning. Noskovich said that the program has allowed students to excel in various subjects and achieve their academic goals.
For advanced students as well as students that are struggling a little bit or they're far behind, because it can advance the multiple grade levels if needed and when needed, and advance them on the program depending on their, as I mentioned, individual needs and where they are.
Imagine Learning has partnered with the Hazleton Area School District for over 5 years. However, this was the first year that the Imagine My Path program has been fully implemented into the curriculum. Drums Middle School also presented their donation Tuesday morning to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. The president of the Freeland Fire Department was recognized on Monday during a Memorial Day ceremony in Freeland. During the ceremony, President Larry Stepansky was awarded the Outstanding Citizen of the Year award by the Freeland American Legion Post 473. Stepansky has led the organization since 2009 and also serves as the Assistant Chief Engineer. The individual shown on screen is wanted in connection with a reported retail theft. According to Wilkes-Barre Township Police, the theft took place on Wednesday, April 30th, around 10 o'clock a.m. at the Wilkes-Barre Township Wegmans. During the incident, police say the suspect stole over $200 worth of crab legs. Anyone with information regarding the identity of the suspect is asked to contact Wilkes-Barre Township Police by calling 570-208-4635, extension 305. Coming up on Weatherly's News Choice, we learn about stalkers on this week's segment of Trooper Talk. Plus, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Benton, Part 2. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another segment of Trooper Talk Tuesday. I'm Trooper Anthony Petrosky, Trooper and Public Information Officer. Today I'm talking to you all about stalking. Now, stalking is defined as somebody who is following another person around. They're sitting there watching them. Everywhere they go, they're there, whether that person knows it or not. Okay, this is a major offense. You can be arrested for this. Now, some tips if you think you're being stalked by somebody. Number one, get to a safe location and contact 911. Now, contacting 911, you can either do that by calling, or if you didn't know this, you're going to learn it right now. You could text 911, and the number is 911. And you can simply text what the problem is and where you're at, and a police officer will be sent to your location. But contact 911, especially if you think somebody's following you, maybe to a location, you get to another spot, and they're there also, they're getting out of their car, they're sitting there watching you. Call 911. Don't approach this person because you never know what their capabilities are. Contact 911 and let us, the authorities, do our job into investigating this. And obviously, if they are stalking you, we will arrest them. Now, we have to be able to approve this in court, so we have to work on the investigation. So the quicker you contact us, the easier it's going to be for us to be able to do our investigation and ultimately arrest this person. This is a major offense. You can be arrested for this. And if you know somebody that is being stalked, say something. Okay, do the right thing. Contact 911, contact local police department in the area where this is happening, and so we could do an investigation. Because unfortunately, this does happen. Not too long ago, there was an attempted abduction right here in Hazel Township. And maybe these types of events can be prevented in the future. So contact 911 if you think you're being stalked. Get to a safe location where there's people around, and then call 911. Let us do our job. I hope you got something out of this Trooper Talk segment, and I'll see you back here next time on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
Lehigh Valley Health Network is now proudly part of Jefferson Health. And when two healthcare leaders come together for the community, you can expect more. More locations, more clinical trials, more breakthrough treatments. Jefferson Health and Lehigh Valley Health Network. Together for the future of care.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
My name is Ellie, and tomorrow's going to be rainy.
A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
Following the Civil War, Benton remained much the small town it had been before the conflict. Signs of the Industrial Revolution started appearing in the area, however. Newton Harrington, upon returning from the conflict, would build an iron foundry in Benton. Its primary products in those days were sled shoes, which came in handy for transporting the logs produced from the area's timber industry. Lathes, plows, and griddles would also be made at the Harrington foundry, and during World War II, it made 75mm shells and stove parts for the military. After nearly 100 years of Harrington family ownership, it would be bought by Al Hall in 1958. He changed the facility's name to the Benton Foundry, and under the ownership of first he and then his sons, the factory has grown to a large iron-making business. Other businesses also took root. A planing mill opened in 1870 at what today is the junction of routes 487 and 239. It would be converted into a flour mill owned by A.W. Wilkinson and John P. Chapin, and then changed once more into a roller mill in 1889, and then a buckwheat flour mill in 1904. It burned down in 1918, but was rebuilt, and still operates today as a feed mill under the name Benton Roller Mills. At their peak in the 19th century, over 14,000 covered bridges crossed countless bodies of water throughout the United States. Today, a little over 900 still stand. Columbia County, always an epicenter for covered bridges, today has 21 spans within its border, the third most of any county in Pennsylvania behind Lancaster and Washington counties. And 3 of Columbia County's bridges can be found within a few miles of each other on Fishing Creek just west of Benton, all of them built with a Queen Post Truss design. The northernmost of these spans is the Creasyville Covered Bridge, built by T.S. Christian in 1881 for roughly $300. It was originally named the Durr Covered Bridge after nearby sawmill owner Hiram Durr and stretches 49 feet across Fishing Creek. Just below that is the Judd Christian Covered Bridge, named for a local farmer at the time of its construction in 1876. It was built by William L. Manning and has a length of 60 feet. The southernmost and longest of the Benton area's covered bridges is the Sam Ekman Covered Bridge, which was also built in 1876 by Joseph Redline for just under $500. The bridge's namesake once owned a shingle mill nearby and later founded the Millville Creamery. It has a span of 71 feet. Benton Borough once did have its own covered bridge crossing over Fishing Creek, but that span is no longer standing. As the largest community in northern Columbia County, Benton became the site of several hotels for travelers moving through the area. One of the more impressive ones was the Exchange Hotel, built by Hiram Hess in 1872 and opened to guests the following year. It would later be owned by Daniel Donovan, who remodeled it extensively by 1910. Other hotels in Benton proper include the Moses Van Campen Hotel, the McHenry House, and the Travelers Inn. North of Benton itself, a stone house would be built on the shores of Lake Genoga by brothers Elijah and Clemuel Ricketts in the early 1850s for area travelers. It would be known as Ricketts Folly for its isolated location. In 1865, 2 guests of this lodge had wandered down to Kitchen Creek to go fishing and made the breathtaking discovery of numerous impressive glens and waterfalls on the property. Elijah Ricketts' son, R. Bruce Ricketts, a former Civil War veteran, entered the scene soon afterwards. Bruce had served in the 1st Pennsylvania Light Artillery, which notably saw action at the battles of Drainesville, which was the first Union victory in the Eastern Theater, 2nd Bull Run, and Chancellorsville. Ricketts was the commanding officer of Company F from fall 1862 to summer 1864. He would have his moment of glory at Gettysburg, where his unit successfully held off an attack on Cemetery Hill by Jubal Early's Confederate troops on July 2, 1863, despite the fighting being hand-to-hand at one point. He would also see service at the battles of the Wilderness and Spotsylvania and the siege of Petersburg before the war's end. Back in civilian life, Bruce began buying up property around Lake Genoga from his father in the late 1860s. He eventually controlled 80,000 acres, including the glens and waterfalls. The younger Ricketts then opened the 3-story North Mountain House in 1873, built by lumber from a sawmill in the area he owned. Guests came to marvel at the waterfalls of the property, and Ricketts would ultimately name 22 of them for posterity and would hire men to build trails along the waterfalls, a process that would take 4 years. Ricketts also hosted the first summer school in the United States of the hotel in 1876, with Joseph Rothrock, considered the father of forestry in Pennsylvania, as one of the teachers. Bruce Ricketts still wished to make a profit in the lumbering industry, though, and repeatedly reached out to potential investors to build rail lines onto the property and start cutting trees. He would not find a taker, however, until 1890, when the Trexler and Terrell Lumber Company, led in part by prominent Allentown businessman Harry Clay Trexler, paid Ricketts $50,000 to cut his timber. The company built a town on the other side of the lake, which would be named Ricketts, connected to its rail lines, and began cutting timber. By 1911, the sawmills in the boomtown could process 125,000 board feet of lumber a day. With timbering riches now at his disposal, Ricketts closed the North Mountain House, which had been threatened repeatedly by fire in the intervening years, in 1903. Attendance had declined at the hotel in the prior years anyway, as the forests were cut down. Benton itself would be connected to the railroad starting in 1888, when the Bloomsburg and Sullivan Railroad reached the town. Although headquartered in Williamsport, the railroad's tracks were entirely in Columbia County, stretching 29 miles from just south of Bloomsburg to Jameson City in far northern Columbia County. 6 passenger trains went up and down the line each day, while freight trains would carry leather and lumber, among other items. The line opened Benton to the wider world for the still dominant Roar McHenry distillery and allowed rapid transportation of its whiskey to customers. By 1960, the line's northern terminus would move south from Jameson City to Benton, and trains that reached the new terminus would wait overnight in Benton before heading back south. After 40 years as a wholly independent line, the Bloomsburg and Sullivan would be bought out by the Reading Railroad in 1928 and operated as a subsidiary there afterwards. Passenger service ended in 1934, but the Reading continued carrying freight in the line until it was damaged by a flood in 1969. The tracks would be torn out a few years thereafter. During the Bloomsburg and Sullivan's heyday, however, Benton would also become a place of recreation during this time for railroad travelers with the opening of Hess's Grove near the tracks in 1889. Its name would soon be changed to Grassmere Park and had an official stop in the Bloomsburg and Sullivan's line. Guests that disembarked at Grassmere Park had numerous picnic groves to enjoy, as well as cool water springs, a baseball diamond, swings, concession stands, and a dance hall to enjoy. They could take boats out on Grassmere's Lake or ride a carousel that was eventually installed. The annual Columbia County's Farmers Picnic was frequently held at the park in its early years, and local organizations would also have get-togethers there, including the Jerseytown 4-H Club and local Boy Scout troops. While the tracks of the Bloomsburg and Sullivan no longer stand nearby, Grassmere Park today lives on as a campground.
My name is Ellie, and tomorrow's gonna be rainy.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,